Thank you for joining the Washtenaw County Road Commission's virtual public information meeting about the Island Lake Road and Dexter Main Street Corridor Improvement Project in Scioto and Webster Townships. My name is Tiffany Oliphant. I'm the communication manager here at WCRC, and I'll be your meeting host along with our project manager. We're also letting a lot of people into the room, so bear with us as we are rolling through this presentation. This morning, I'll go over the meeting instructions before turning it over to staff for a presentation about the project, and then we'll open the meeting up for your questions. Joining me today is Project Manager Kevin Dubnicki. The meeting audio and video is being recorded and will be posted to the project page on wcroads.org in the next day or two. After the presentation, you'll be able to ask questions virtually and raise your hand during the Q&A. I'll provide instructions at that time on how to do this from either your computer, the Zoom app, or phone. The chat feature for this meeting is turned on. If you have a question during the presentation, feel free to ask it in the chat, and we'll address it during the Q&A portion later on in the presentation. You can find the chat window at the bottom of your screen. And now I'll turn it over to Kevin.
Thanks, Tiffany. Sorry, guys, technical issues here. You gotta love it when the computer resets on you just before the presentation. Today we're gonna be talking about the Island Lake Road and Dexter Main Street Corridor Improvement Projects. The project is going to be occurring at those intersections. The map you have in front of you gives you the general overhead view of where the new signal improvements are going to be going in at Dexter, Pinckney Road, and Island Lake. You're fine. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. That sounds good. Project funding and costs. Construction cost is estimated at $3.2 million. Construction mitigation air quality funds were acquired for this project. It is a federal program that provides funding to state and local governments for transportation projects aimed at reducing traffic congestion and improving air quality. We were able to receive $1.6 million as part of this project for funding, and the remaining funds was part of our Michigan Transportation Funds, MTF funds, totaling $1.6 million. The MTF funds come from our license and registration fees and fuel taxes. The project plans are work is going to be constructed at Island Lake at Dexter Chelsea Road. A new roundabout will be constructed there. Island Lake Road at Dexter Pinckney Road will be including a new westbound right turn lane to northbound Dexter Pinckney Road and a center left turn lane. Signal improvements are going to be occurring along Main Street at Broad Street, Baker Road, Meadowview Drive, and Dan Hoy Road. Next slide, thank you. This is the overall overhead view of our roundabout project at Dexter Chelsea Road and Island Lake. You can see that we will have essentially a designated through lane on Island Lake for traffic coming from the city of Dexter heading towards the viaduct, and also a designated turn lane to exit onto Dexter Chelsea Road. We are doing this project because of issues with signals and sight lines. We're doing a roundabout versus signals because of issues with sight lines. There will be a time congestion that'll happen with the roundabout, but it's going to quickly unravel as it goes through there. We're also going to be adding pedestrian improvements with some sidewalks, rapid flashing beacon signals, and we're also going to be putting in overheight detection systems to notify larger vehicles as they are approaching the viaduct so that they can turn off on the Dexter Chelsea Road to avoid hitting the viaduct. This system will be implemented on Island Lake Road on both the west and east sides of the proposed plan, as well as on Dexter Chelsea Road. Next slide, please. Improvements at the Dexter Pinckney Road and Island Lake, we're going to be including again a right turn lane heading westbound to have more of a free flow movement onto Dexter Pinckney Road so that there was not as many backups. This catch lane is going to be similar to what we have over in Ann Arbor Saline Road at Wagner. The biggest reason we're doing these improvements is that it's going to improve the congestion that has been occurring on westbound traffic. Signal improvements that we had just discussed earlier on Broad Street, Baker Road, Meadowview Drive, and Dan Hoy Road on Main Street there will generally not see large improvements visually. Most of the work that is going to be occurring on there is going to be updating and improving the signals that are at these intersections. However, there will be improvements to some of the sidewalks and ADA work at these intersections. So most of the money is going to be going towards improving the overall signal systems with the added benefit of making them more ADA, bringing them up to be ADA compliant. Something to mention here as we're going through here, and I think it's on the later slide, but I'm going to mention it because it's not on the ones. We are going to be doing improvements on Island Lake Road between Dexter Chelsea Road and Dexter Pinckney Road, the section of roadway that is not specifically addressed here and we're not discussing in detail during this presentation, but we will be resurfacing that and doing drainage improvements as part of that work. So I know that's been a big question that a lot of the residents have been asking. Yes, we are addressing that pavement section that is between these two intersections that we're working on. Go ahead to the next slide, please. Tentative schedule, we're going to be closing the intersections on May 4th. The contractor will be beginning that closure on May 4th in the morning, so please be patient and possibly seek alternate routes immediately because it may not be closed immediately in the morning on your way into work, but on the way back it will be, and there will be additional delays. The project schedule, we're going to be hoping to open to traffic early September 2026. We have other things such as weather permit pending that could affect these. In general, this work that we're going to be working on is going to be working from west to east. So the project located at the Dexter Pinckney Road, Island Lake will have most of the construction starting there as we are working towards the east in the roundabout. There will be construction going on through the whole process though. So you're going to see more progress going from the west as they start completing the projects and going to east though. Next slide. The first steps will be to remove the existing pavements and begin our underground work for the storm sewers and grading for the project. Next slide. Following the grading, we're going to be following our installation of the storm sewer. We're going to be preparing our subgrade soils at an aggregate base and final grading begins. Concrete curbs and center islands will be formed and poured following shortly after with the paving and permanent signs to be placed. All roadside ditches will be completed and seeded at that point. The intersections will be closed to all through traffic and a detour will be posted. Businesses located within the closures will remain open with one access point. A&W will have access from Dexter Chelsea Road only, and the Westwood subdivision will only have access to Dexter Pinckney Road. All access to Island Lake will be closed for the construction that will be going on there. Next slide. Attached, we see a detour plan that generally consists of going north on either Dexter Pinckney Road or following Island Lake Road over to Dexter Town Hall Road, picking up to Territorial Road, and then heading south on Mass Road back into town. This detour is based on keeping traffic on paved roadways as much as possible. Next slide. The southern detour, if you will, is going to encompass going and utilizing Baker Road down to Shield Road, up Parker Road, and back to Dexter Chelsea Road to get to the opposite side. There may be other alternate routes, but these are the routes that are suggested to keep on paved roads. There will be coinciding work that's going to be going on with the city of Dexter. This slide shows proposed work that the city of Dexter will be going on that's going to be concurrently happening during WCRC's roadway construction. They're going to be resurfacing and doing new sidewalk improvements, pedestrian signals, and additional rectangular rapid flashing beacons. So there'll be a lot of work going on in Dexter. It'll be a very busy location for construction this year. Next slide. And to find out more information, visit our project page, wcroads.org. You can subscribe to more updates, and my contact information is attached there with my phone number and email. And Tiffany, I think this goes back to you.
Yes, it goes back to me. I do see the chat heating up there. I will get to you in one moment, but I want to take a break and take a moment for us to show everyone how to access our website and look for the project and get updates and sign up for projects. So I'm going to do that 1 second. I'm going to come out of the presentation. And I'm going to come into our website, which is at wcroads.org. Then you'll go on our homepage. This is our homepage here. In order to access our projects page, you can go roadwork and construction, current projects. Here you will find an interactive map. It populates there. You can also find projects that are going on, and you can see what the projects we have. And then you can click on those project page for more info. But I'm going to also show you how to get down to this page also. You can go to Island Lake Road at Dexter Main Street Corridor Improvements. That's this project page. There you will find information about this project, its funding. We put all of our latest updates here. Kevin's information. We've had some various other meetings here. We've had a design meeting earlier. So those slides are there. We have roundabout information, the detour information. Also, we just recently put out that the intersections will be closed. So this is an information here that we've been putting out. We just put that out today. You can subscribe to get that information. You click on the button there, put your email address in, your name and your zip code. Click on your township or townships. You can select multiple townships at one time. It doesn't have to be one. You can and then select the Island Lake Dexter Main Street Corridor project, and also not coming next year will be the Dexter 5 Points. There's several projects that we are doing here that you can click on, and then you hit subscribe. That's one way to find out what's going on with WCRC and our projects. We also have a township page that we are updating as well. Here you can click on your township, an Ohio township, and that also tells you, see, we also put there the road closure there. So you can find out what's going on within your township and the road work that is happening in your township that we're doing. We've populated these township pages. Okay, so I'm going to go back into the presentation. And then we're going to open it up for Q&A. So I want to explain to you how this all works for those who may not have attended some of our meetings. If you viewed this meeting on your computer, first make sure to click on the join audio, and then you can raise your hand by clicking on the participants or reactions button at the bottom of your screen, and then raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen. If you dialed into the meeting from your phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. As the meeting host, I will unmute participants with raised hands one at a time. I will announce your username or your last 4 digits of your phone number when it is your turn to speak. We are happy to answer as many questions as possible, but please be respectful of each other's time. If your question has been answered and you're called upon, you can lower your hand by either clicking the lower hand button or dialing *9. Well, first, I will go with the chat. 1 second. I have a lot going on in the chat. The chat is heating up again. Um, so, uh, so we've answered that. B King, you said at least repaved under the viaduct. It's the worst paving. So we are repaving under the viaduct, correct, Kevin?
That is correct. So it was not part of this scope that we're working on it. The county itself has a separate project with a separate contractor that is being bid out as we speak, and it will be done consecutively during the closure of this. So you will not have any additional delays to the construction schedule. It's going to be working within this closed work zone and will be completed at the same time.
Okay. I have another comment in the chat. Mike Ross says the problem isn't traffic, it's the bridge. Traffic will be congested because it backs up at the bridge. Is there an answer for that?
They're not a good answer. So it's the answer that we've referenced before that unfortunately we don't own the bridge, we don't own the viaduct, and it's also a historical structure. MDOT is the ones who owns the project or owns that bridge, in which case, because of the historical status of it and it not being owned by the county, and it is not in our hands to do anything with. It would be great if my understanding is, and this is before my time, it has been approached to MDOT, but that has not gone anywhere because it's just too big of a task, for that. So at this time, unfortunately, the viaduct is there for the foreseeable future.
Okay. I do have a question here. I'm going to ask Mike Ross. I'm going to have you, I'm going to ask you to unmute and then you can ask your question. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I guess I'm just confused as to why this project is going to take 4 months for something that's not going to fix the traffic issue. If the traffic issue is at the viaduct, putting a roundabout there is not going to make anything better. So I'm just kind of curious as how this is going to make anything an improvement because I live in West Ridge and it's going to be a huge inconvenience for me given the fact that the detour is so reasonably out of my way.
So we're doing several improvements over here. And the biggest thing is to get more traffic through at a faster clip. The viaduct we can't change, but we can change the amount of traffic that might be backing up into the city of Dexter. That is what one of the things that the roundabout will do. So, and I'm going to back up even a little bit further to help answer the question, Mike, is that we did look at possibly a signalized intersection over here, but unfortunately, because of the site restrictions that are there for it, it was not a viable option. And this isn't just the road commission's opinion on this. We had several consulting firms that went through and reviewed this as what is the best option we have for us. So it was a team of individuals that went through and looked at what the issues were and how can we improve this uh, project over here. And so ultimately the decision was made that this was really the only viable option to help with moving traffic through and getting it into a little more of a free flow condition, helping with backups that are going into the city of Dexter over there, helping with traffic turning movements from Dexter Chelsea Road onto Main Street, because that can be challenging for people trying to merge onto the Island Lake Road, Main Street, from Dexter Chelsea Road, as we talk about the roundabout. So we have some designated lanes that are going to try to keep the traffic, in where they need to be for more of a free flow conditions. And I've said this time, I think I've said it too much at this point. And then the other improvements that we're working on is obviously at the opposite end, which was Dexter Pinckney Road and Island Lake. So the improvements there are obviously to put in designated turn lanes to help with the traffic that is backing up there, trying to go northbound on there, because there's not a designated lane right now and traffic is backing up heavily there. So there will be improvements to the intersections on there, as best as we can with the current conditions and the geometry that is present.
Thank you. I have a few questions coming. Hold on, I gotta let someone else in. So here's another comment. Will both Island Lake projects, roundabout and the traffic light at Dexter Pinckney, be done at the same time? We've answered that. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, so they're all happening at the same time, as well as what we are calling the GAP project. All of these projects are me going on at the same time to get as much done as quick as possible in the area so that we're not coming back, let's say, next year for these improvements or to do anything. So we're getting everything done at one time.
We've answered, will the pavement be repaired under the bridge? Modifications to that viaduct. Somebody said the modifications to the viaduct would never happen. We don't own the bridge, so we're not able to do the modifications. So we talked about that. Cheryl said, what issue does the roundabout solve? Is it the ability of the residents of the new apartment? Is it the ability of the residents of the new apartments to exit their drive? She has several questions. Go ahead, Kevin.
So the answer is that the roundabout was not designed or really even taken it. We took into consideration that the new development, the new Pelham development that's going in over there. We had to, obviously, because of the new traffic that was going to be coming in and out of that, but it was not the reason for the roundabout, nor was it any communication from them asking how we can improve this for that development. So the development we took into consideration, but the roundabout had nothing to do with that development. So it will help with the entrance and exiting of traffic through there, but it was not part of that.
Okay. So then she asked another question. Is it the ability for people to take a left onto Dexter, Chelsea from the center of town?
So I guess, so the answer is yes, because we have a designated lane. So as you are leaving downtown Chelsea and you're going westbound, as you approach the roundabout, there will be a through lane to continue onto Island Lake, or you can maintain a left turn, I will say, for all intents and purposes, to be able to exit onto Dexter Chelsea Road.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go to the Westridge Dexter resident. I know you had a question in the chat. Maybe you might want to ask that here. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Hello?
thank you. I was
Okay.
concerned about. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you now. Yes, go ahead.
Hear me?
Yes, I
Okay,
hear you.
thank you. I was concerned about. Okay, I was concerned about the timing and why the project be done in phases so that school traffic, especially, can still go through here. And has there been any coordination about bus times because there is a lot of bus traffic in and out of Westridge?
So I'm going to answer the bus question first because it was just kind of addressed recently and I got a response back. So we've been in communication with the schools. They are understanding of our current schedule. They have been provided all the detour routes. The school system, I think, I don't want to say that they are waiting for this meeting, but they are waiting for confirmation that it was going to be occurring on essentially the closure date of May 4th. So the school is aware. They did communicate with me as recently as yesterday that they're aware of the schedule. So they do have a plan in place based on the email correspondence that I received from them. So they know what's going on, they know it's coming, and they're working around what's the anticipation of the project. As for completing the project in phases, there wasn't a great because we were doing the improvements on Island Lake Road between the two intersections, and the work that was going to be done, there was not going to be a significant benefit to try to stage this, and it was going to be very difficult or impossible to do it in stages. We also put the contractor on a tighter time frame. Believe it or not, I understand that it seems like it's a long time for the work to be done, but there's a lot of work to be done. And so by allowing them to close these intersections down, both of them simultaneously, they will get the work done months in advance instead of us trying to stage it. Because again, if we were to try to do the gap work and the drainage improvements and other work that we have planned in between the intersections, we would still have to close this section down. So as far as coordination of the efforts, this was the best choice to be able to get done as quickly as possible and also as economically as possible, because if it took longer for the contractor to complete the work, it obviously adds additional expense to the project as well. So it was the best choice for us to close it down and do it. And we're hoping that they're going to get it done sooner than we anticipate, but there's no guarantees. Again, we put them on a very tight schedule. Otherwise, it would have taken even longer.
And honestly, we have to be honest, Kevin, also piggybacking on that, Michigan only has a finite amount of nice days for construction to happen as far as weather is concerned. And so we have to kind of get this work done at the time frame we do. Well, thank you. Also, please, someone said, Harold said here, can we please fix the drainage under the tunnel? Is that in the part of it? Can we go over that a little bit?
Yes, of course. So the answer is yes. We understand there's some drainage issues that are going on over there, and that is part of those improvements that are going in between these two intersections. So we'll be working on installing new manhole structures and drainage through this session that will capture the water and redirect it back to the river, versus it flooding at the bottom of the viaduct. So I know that I had seen the pictures. I know you guys are all fully aware that occasionally it does flood over there. We are addressing that with the new improvements that are going on over here.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to ask Jamie Sattler I'm going to ask you to unmute. Go ahead, Jamie. Jamie, hello.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
We just wanted to see, there's currently a crosswalk from Gordon Hall across Island Lake Road into like the Westridge subdivision. What's going to happen with that? Will any part of that be available to cross during this? And where will it go when the project's done?
So we are doing a slight relocation of where that crosswalk is at the Dexter Pinckney Road. I'll tell you what, can you go down one slide
Yes.
to show that intersection? There we go. So we are going to be relocating because of the new geometry of that intersection. We're needing to relocate where that crosswalk is at. You can see where the existing sidewalk is and where the proposed sidewalk will be at. So as part of our construction operations over there, the entire intersection, including that crosswalk, will be closed, for the construction period of it. So it will be relocated slightly to the west from where it was at, but it will not be available during the construction.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So let's go right to the chat there. I'm sorry. Pardon me. It says, where will the overheight detection be placed eastbound to keep vehicles, I guess, meeting the height restrictions out of West Ridge subdivision? Pardon me. I get a little choked up, but or just blocking traffic.
So it will be located, and I'm trying to, for the East Ridge subdivision, it's going to be located between the entrance that goes into the East Ridge subdivision and Dexter Pinckney Road. Technically, vehicles are not supposed to be traveling this. They should know their routes prior to them getting to the location on there. Obviously, that's not the case because it happens many, many times a year. So without me having the map up in front of me here, it is can be located between East Ridge Drive and the Dexter Pinckney Road. At that point, if it is triggered, the driver, as they would if they'd made it all the way to the bridge, will then have to figure out the safest option to either back out of there or turn around at East Ridge Drive to go back the way they came and find another route around that.
Thank you. I'm going to go to Everett Katz. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Go ahead, Everett.
Hi. I was just curious in talking about with the overheight detection system that's going in to obviously keep larger vehicles from getting stuck underneath the viaduct. If you're coming east, is the detection system being put in to avoid or to keep larger trucks from vehicles from either having to back out or use Westridge as a turnaround area?
I believe we just got done answering that, but I'll go through it again. So as you're heading eastbound from the intersection of Dexter Pinckney Road and Island Lake, There will be an overheight detection system that is going to be located before the East Ridge Drive.
Okay, sorry, I had to dial back in because
Oh,
my
not a problem.
computer didn't have a raise hand button.
Gotcha.
So why? I guess why was that decision made? I mean, that's going to force more traffic into the Westridge subdivision versus making that decision before the Island Lake Road, Dexter Pinckney intersection, to where vehicles can make a decision prior to entering the subdivision and using main roads to actually detour around.
So if we would have to do multiple systems before in advance, and I'm gonna stumble here a little bit on my response, and the reason being is that I was not a part of this project when the initial design was done for that. So I'm coming in after the fact, so bear with me on this. So one of the reasons would be is that
Well, then
we have to have.
I can answer that
Okay.
if you want. Hi, this is Brent Schlag, I'm Director of Engineering. Yeah, there's plenty of advanced signage, in advance of this intersection, and so these are to supplement those signage and the last ditch effort for those vehicles. So we felt it was best to put that overheight detection warning system east of the Dexter Pinckney Island Lake as that last ditch effort. Yes, if there is an issue, then yeah, they may have to back out or turn around on East Ridge in some fashion. But we would rather have that than them get stuck within the viaduct. But our hope is that they will see that advanced signage and advance the intersection prior to even getting to that overheight detection system.
Thank you. Okay, for the hand. Ellen, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Go ahead.
Hi.
Go ahead, Ellen. Okay, yeah, we can hear you.
Hi.
Go ahead.
I wondered when this is complete. I'm also a Westridge resident, and during heavy traffic times, especially like morning rush hour, evening rush hour, school traffic times, it's very hard to turn out of our subdivision onto Island Lake, going left, or even going out the exit from onto Dexter Pinckney Road. Going left is actually kind of dangerous because you can't see cars very well coming around that corner. And I wondered if this project is going to make that better or worse, and what the suggestion would be for Dexter resident, like Westridge residents, trying to get out of the neighborhood.
So the design for this was not to improve the what do I want to say here? So at this time, none of the improvements that we are doing were directly related to the Westridge residents. So we were looking at the congestion and issues that we had on the mainline roads. So I don't believe that this is going to change the issues that maybe you may be experiencing right now, but I don't believe it's going to be making things worse. One of the things that they are doing is because of the new geometry of the intersection of Dexter Pinckney Road, it is actually going to slow vehicles down to make the turn because it's going to be a slightly they changed the alignment intentionally to help with slowing vehicles down. Right now, the way that it is set up, vehicles can travel fairly quickly around the intersection, over there for the Dexter Pinckney Road. So I guess the answer is I would hope that there would not be any more difficulties than what you were already maybe experiencing, but it should not make anything worse.
Will the speed limit on Island Lake, will that stay the same, or are you going to slow that down a little bit? Because I think it does change to 45 right there.
Speed limits are going to remain the same through the intersections. So whatever the posted speed limit is through Dexter Pinckney Island Lake intersection and that general region for all the projects, quite frankly, we will not be changing the speed limits.
Okay,
Thank you. Okay, I have some questions here in the chat. Uh, okay, it says, will Island Lake westbound work be done before the roundabout? And will we be able to use that to get to Wiley Road via Island Lake before September?
Sorry, reading the question. So the intersection will be closed. Essentially, the project limits that you see on your screen right now to answer that question, it will be closed beginning May 4th. This is not a staged construction. We'll be keeping one intersection open longer than the other because we'll be working on both intersections simultaneously as well as the gap work. So beginning May 4th, where we see the project limits on the screen right now for the Dexter Pinckney Island Lake Road, that's what will be closed down and you will not be able to access Island Lake Road or Dexter Pinckney Road past that point. I'm not sure if does that answer the question, I hope.
Yeah, I think so. But it says accessing Wiley Road there. Will there be
Before September? So
yes.
so the answer is at this point it will be dependent on where the contractor's at with their construction process. So they'll be working on simultaneous activities, things like paving and paint markings and specials for the roadways. Uh, Once we get closer to that time frame, things could change, but the reality is that what I'm being told by the contractor is that the intention is to keep both intersections closed for the full duration, and that's what we should be planned for.
Okay. And I encourage people to sign up for our weekly road our schedules and to get these updates so you'll know. As soon as we know, we will put the information out. Also on social media, we will be on social media. Okay, I have another one. You're going to force people on the gravel roads with this plan. What is our answer for that? Go ahead.
So it is a high likelihood that there will be vehicles will be using gravel roads to bypass and go seek different alternate routes than what is posted. These are all public roads and we can't force people to not use these roads. We will be keeping an eye on and coordinate with our operations group to maintain these roads with the increased traffic that is likely to occur. What I can tell you is, for example, I reached out to our operations group who handles that portion of the county, and they are planning on resurfacing or regrading Wiley Road before the start of this construction on May 4th. So either on or before that date is what I'm being told. That's a little bit weather dependent, so don't yell at me if it ends up being May 5th or something a little bit thereafter, but they are keeping an eye on it. They are going to be regrading it, and it should be in good working condition at the start of this construction, and it will be monitored through the construction process in the event that things are not being, if the roadway's not holding up as it should.
Okay, thank you. So I'm getting comments here. Why just about Wiley Road. You just talked about that. That's going to be maintained. Just Barbara Bradley says she just wants to clarify that is the left turn lane from eastbound Island Lake Road at Dexter Pinckney Road still being done?
Left turn lane from Island Lake Road to Dexter Pinckney Road is. Yes, as you can see in the drawing that's up on the screen right now, that left turn lane as you're on Island Lake heading eastbound is currently there. There will be a designated left turn lane.
Mike says, my concern is emergency vehicles heading west. People will be trapped in the roundabout because of the tunnel, and emergency vehicles will not be able to easily head west.
Currently, that's a similar situation that is potentially occurring right now. The roundabouts will have mountable curbs. They will be able to drive over and through the roundabouts and the separator islands. We've had discussions with the fire department about this. At this point, it is not changing really any of the issues that may already be pre-existing. It's still unfortunately a choke point with that the viaduct. But we have had discussions with the fire department regarding this and how we can make it as easy as possible to try to maintain that. But we obviously cannot remove vehicles that may be in the way. It'll still be up to them to get out of the way for police and fire if emergencies are occurring.
MP says, what happens when a larger vehicle stops under the viaduct waiting for traffic? If another vehicle cannot pass through, it seems the roundabout will become blocked as well.
Well, eventually with the roundabout, it's going to clear out. There's still going to, as we discussed, there's still be some higher volume traffic, especially during peak hours. And it will clear out, and that vehicle that may be underneath the viaduct will be able to eventually get through, and traffic going to resume.
Thank you. How many days per week will construction occur? Hopefully more than 5 days per week, given the major economic disruption to the Dexter area.
Currently, the schedule that I have reviewed appears that they're going to be working 6 days a week.
Thank you.
I'm going to add something to that also, though, is that we are sensitive to obviously events that are going on in Dexter, and we've taken that into consideration also. So, major holidays and whatnot that are going on, they're not allowed to work. So, we are taking that into consideration for this, but 6 days a week is currently what the schedule is. Again, we put them on a tight schedule for the construction of this, with the intent of them completing it sooner than later. As soon as possible is really what it comes down to. So they have a very strict time frame that they have to complete things by. Otherwise, they're penalized heavily by it.
We have B. King. Too many drivers are too timid in passing through the viaduct. Too large size SUVs can pass at the same time without problems. Can't change that with the road projects. That's the comment. Hold on, I have a couple more here. Has fire response for communities to the west been addressed?
Yes, we've been in communication with the fire department and police department on this. Police and fire are going to be, there's going to be coordination with the police and fire department. In general, we are going to maintain access for police and fire during the construction process. However, there will be times and periods where accessibility will not be there, and they will have to take a longer route in that event. An example of that is that there will be concrete work that will be poured, and the viaduct specifically. There's no way to stage that construction. When we go through to do the work for this, it must occur at one time. There is a period of time where we cannot have any traffic or other vehicles on it, which means that we will be communicating with the police and fire that there is no route through the construction site for emergency vehicles at that time. That's going to be completed with our project managers on site with that coordination.
I think we kind of answered this, but I just want to make sure that we address everyone. If someone is trying to enter the roundabout from under the viaduct that will stack traffic under the viaduct. People leaving town will be stuck waiting to enter the viaduct. You've answered that, which will stop traffic and also stop the circle. In other words, not fixing the problem. I have another comment here from Bruce. I cannot post to the main chat for some reason. Can you ask what will be done to both monitor and maintain Wiley Road during the construction? I think, Bruce, we've answered that. Every time there's been construction that has been closed through stretches, Wiley Road becomes nearly impassable with potholes causing damage to vehicles. What frequency will it be maintained and how will it be monitored to assure it is safe? You can kind of reiterate that if you would like.
Yeah, I can. So we had answered the question earlier, but I'll reiterate and talk about it, is that our operations group is going to be keeping an eye on this, as well as myself and our project managers that will be at the site itself. Wiley Road, we understand, may have an uptick in traffic, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It will have increased traffic on there. Our operations group has informed me that they will be regrading this road near the start of this construction period. They've told me it will be before the May 4th start period. Obviously, this is a little bit weather dependent on completing the work, but at the beginning of the construction period, this will be regraded and it will be in good working order. And then during the construction process, they will be reviewing the conditions of the road and maintaining it as necessary during the construction, based on their judgment. And obviously, we will be using the same amount of judgment for the rest of the roads and on keeping it in good condition. But I wouldn't expect, let's say, excessive amounts don't expect the grader to be out there every day regrading the roadway. We will absolutely be maintaining the road in good working condition, especially with the increase of traffic. But we won't have equipment out there every day trying to maintain this. I guess that's just, let's have our expectations realistic on this, is that we'll be absolutely maintaining the roadway and are planning on doing that.
All right. Oh, I have one question here. Okay, I'm going to ask you to unmute, Westridge Dexter resident. Go ahead. Go ahead. Westridge Dexter resident, you had your hand up? I guess not. Okay. Oh, go ahead. I think I heard you. All right. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to lower their hand. Oh, go ahead. Oh, you're there. You're there. I'm going to ask you to, okay, raise your hand one more time.
Will there be any local access at all during this period? Like any local access? Like,
if you're asking if there will be any local access through the construction site to the Westridge subdivision, the answer is no.
Dave Norton just asked a question in the chat. Currently at Dexter Pinckney Island Lake, you can turn right from Dexter Pinckney onto Island Lake in front of Jenny's Market. Will you be able to turn right there during construction to head west on Island Lake? You want me to repeat that again, or are you okay with that?
No, I'm good. So the answer is no. So the construction will be the road will be closed before that intersection, and there will be no right turns at this, as we will be doing work through the full stretch. So no, there will be no right turn from Dexter Pinckney Road onto Island Lake Road.
Okay, thank you. Elise, I think that's White. Or maybe right, I'm not sure, but Elise. A single bus has two routes for students who live in Westridge. The first bus for the older students and second for the younger students at DEEC. Already this schedule is very tight and often leaves younger students waiting. How will this be addressed in adding significant time to the route?
That's a question for the school system. We're not involved with any of the decisions for the bus routes and how they're handling that. So you'll have to reach out to the school system and discuss that with them.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's all the questions that I have. I don't see anything in the chat. Do you see anything in your chat, Kevin, or any of the hosts? Before I wrap up our meeting, I don't want to wrap up our meeting if you have something in chat.
I don't see anything additional.
Okay, thank you. For everyone, we're going to wrap it up today. Thank you, Kevin. You can find information about this project on our project page, wcroads.org. You can contact Kevin. There's his contact information, Kevin Dubnicki, 734-327-6693. Also, his email address is right there. It's also on the project page. And we also want to say thank you for joining our construction information meeting about the Island Lake Road, Dexter Main Street Corridor Improvement Projects. If you have any further questions, feel free to email Kevin.